All right, joining me now in the Sevens Club. For us, it's important to know that he's from Kingdom FC, but he's going to tell us all about his life outside of that as well as inside of TST. Paulie Calafiore, welcome to the Sevens Club.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate being here.
Exciting stuff. It's an exclusive club, and you are one of the first few guests. Honestly, there's no better place to start than soccer. We'll get to TST, I'm sure, but your soccer career didn't start at TST. You played in college. You played growing up. We'd love to just hear a little background of, how you started playing and loving the game, and then where your career took you prior to TST.
Yeah, I think that was the most exciting thing about TST is like the announcers when we first started were kind of sitting there being like, oh, these Calafiore brothers, like, this isn't reality TV. And then like after 3 games, when they saw we can ball, they were like, well, actually, hold on, we did a little research on them. They can play. I'd say for me, like it started, I was 3 years old, was like when I first started playing. I'm 2 years older than my brother. He started playing around 3 years old too. And that was kind of it. Like we played soccer, we wrestled, very competitive. Pops had us in the backyard all the time. And we saw a lot of success at an early age. As soon as the state team was available, the regional team was available, like we were on those teams, national pools growing up, getting invites to go overseas when we're 13 and 11 years old, for Newcastle's academy. And then, we just kind of continued our path in the U.S. I went to Rutgers. He went to Temple. Out of college, I went to Colorado. He went to Columbus. We both didn't make it out of preseason. Injuries snagged us, but the love of the game just kind of carried us. I wish we knew a little bit more about kind of, which agents to be with and whatnot. Cause like I would sit there and I'd be like, man, some of these guys that we used to play against that we just absolutely diced up our whole lives are still playing professionally, like whether they were in Sweden, Germany, like lower division, even in the MLS. And I was like, man, I wonder if we still got it. I guess we don't know. Right. And then when TST came around, I was like, oh, hell yeah, this would be a good kind of test to see if maybe we still got it a little bit, but more so a test of like, are we going to not get injured? Like, are we too old for this? Like, should we just like be like, it's a pipe dream. Like we shouldn't even play for fun anymore. So I'm very thankful for TST just because it was such an amazing experience. It was such an awesome time. My brother and I haven't played together since high school. And like the story of the Calafiore brothers in high school is like, we went to high school together. That high school team had never won a game in like 4 or 5 years. And then we went there and we turned that team into like top 5 in the state. By the time we were finishing there, in college, we were able to see a lot of success in terms of the NCAA tournament. Even though he likes to brag that when Rutgers played Temple, they beat us. I like to brag that we made it to the Sweet 16, and they never even made it that far. So we still keep a little bit of the competitive side, but it was really awesome to actually like play with him, just because like that synergy is there where it's kind of like we almost have like we read each other's minds because we just played together since we were tiny little guys.
Is playing soccer now different being a reality TV star? Do you add a little flair to your game? Do you, maybe if you're mic'd up, you give a little more reality TV side of it, or do you still play the same way you've always played?
I think I still play the same way I always played. I mean, I was always somewhat of a showman. I always played to the crowd, 100%, whether it was the home crowd or the away crowd. I always played to them. That was just part of my game. Smack talk was always a part of my game, always a part of my brother's game. So the only thing about reality TV is I think when people see me on reality TV, they don't know that I was an athlete and like a high level athlete at that. So it's like they just see the reality TV and I don't think they fully understand where that competitive switch comes from. So like to most people watching a reality TV show, they're like, I don't understand why he's so aggressive and so competitive and all that stuff. But any athlete that's watching is like, no, I know exactly why he's aggressive and why he's competitive like that. Cause that's just a switch that we all have across the board, no matter what. So it's cool to be able to show people this side where it's like, hey, this has been my passion since I was like 3 years old. And it's like, I wish that you guys got to see me when I was in my prime. But at least you get to see that, I'm not god awful. I'm in my 30s. So I appreciate that I can still hang at this age.
Yeah, we had a lot of, whether it was older players at TST or other, quote unquote celebrities, but most, if not all of them, were there because they wanted to play soccer, not as a PR move, not as a, I guess I was going to say public move, but that's PR. Like Noah Beck, for example, you've mentioned him. He's a huge name. He was not there to make TikTok content out of it. Yes, he did that because that's his job. That's what he does. But he was there because he loves playing soccer. And, you're saying that's the same for you. Was there anyone at TST that you were surprised by the fact that they actually had some game, either still left in the tank or you didn't know they had it at all?
Honestly, Noah, 100%. Me and my brother were sitting there before we went in. I was like, I wonder if he could actually ball, right? Because you see the highlight reels and, the highlight reels can be deceiving. Anybody can put together a good highlight reel. But when we played against him, we were like, man, this kid actually has the IQ and he can move and he's got the technique and he's got all that. I'm like, how do we get this guy on our team for next year, right? So we were sitting there the whole game, and I know a lot of other teams, when they played against him, they were talking smack to him. The whole time I was playing against him, I was like, hey, bro, just keep it in mind. Next year this could work. The Cal Bros, Noah Beck, feel like it's a match made in heaven. Me and Cody will model your underwear. We'll push that out there. We still got it. We still got the bodies. We can still rock the underwear modeling. Just ball with us a little bit. We'll definitely make sure that you have a better showing this time around than last time around. But I was really impressed by him. His touch was clean. He could use both feet. His turning abilities were absolutely unreal. And he was he wasn't a pushover. I expected him to be a bitch. And if you bumped into him, fall down, but he brought it, and he was sturdy, and he was super humble and super nice, right? So it's I'm sure people can say this about Cody and I. They don't know what they're going to get into when they meet us. Same thing with somebody like Noah. He's a mega star, right? But getting to talk to him and everything, super humble, super down to earth. And that just made his performance even that much cooler, in my opinion.
I agree. There was definitely a lot of exciting people there. Noah, Steve Nash, hero from the West Ham team. Year 2, details will emerge very soon about year 2 of TST. We're expecting bigger and better things, more talent. For Kingdom, before we talk about some non-TST stuff, what are you guys doing in the off season to stay ready for potential year 2 of TST?
Yeah, everything that we've been doing on the Kingdom side, I told everybody as soon as the tournament ended, I said, y'all better stay in shape, stay on your touches. We are going to have tryouts again this year. They're going to be a little bit more intense. We are going to be even more selective than we were last year. And we're looking for similar style, right? Those gritty people who, when it comes down to it, they want to put in the extra mileage to get that win out, especially if the game is going a couple rounds in that extra time where you need that one goal to win or make a comeback. I'm excited just because the buzz around it, especially, everybody who ever played against my brother and I watched us play, and they were just like, yo, how do I get involved next year? Because we were reaching out to all these people in the soccer world prior to the first tournament, being like, hey, we need heads, we need bodies, we need you guys on our team. We played together for so long, dudes, and they were just like, it's not that serious. I'm getting an offer from this team, so I think I'm going to go there, and I'm going to go to this team. And I'm sitting there. I'll call them out. All right, I'll call them out. Alex DeJean, Hunter Gorski. You guys know you should have been on our team. When Jimmy Conrad called you, you shouldn't have been on his team. You should have been playing with us, not Conrad Beasley. So I hope you guys learned your lesson, right? Come back to your roots. Come back to the Jersey boys. All right, we're trying to get a dub this year. All right, and we know how to do it. All right, you guys played with us since you were babies too. All right, it's only right that you come home and bring it home. All right, so that's all I'm going to say there.
That's a great pitch. Come back to the Kingdom. That should be your calling card. Come back to the Kingdom.
Come back to the Kingdom, baby. We're royalty over here. All right, we're trying to get that dub. That's it. You know, Cody's good. He's not going to have any weddings, you know, to leave for this year. He made sure he cleared his schedule. I was a little upset. I had to call him out that when we make it to the knockout stages, he flies home for a wedding. You know, and we really could have used him in that knockout stage. And I feel as though we had a good chance of making a run and winning that tournament. And, you know, the team that won, props to you guys, but, you know, we beat them. And, you know, we were the only team in the tournament to beat them. And I'm a little bit bitter that we lost as early as we did. So we're coming back much stronger to try and get the dub this year.
Isn't that a crazy concept with group play and soccer, that the team that wins the single elimination tournament can have lost to a team that doesn't win it? I mean, it's a wild concept. I mean, that happens in sports every year where, you know, teams who win the championship obviously lost games in the regular season or lost games in playoffs, but it's cool, you know, reality TV type element where you don't know what's going to happen. I'd be pissed if I didn't get to ask you a question or two about your, you know, TV career. I'm going to try and come up with some questions that you've never been asked before. The first one, you've probably been asked this, but I've never heard an answer. You've been on a bunch of shows, but are there any shows out there that you're working to get on, that you'd like to be on, that look really fun to you, that you wish you had a shot to, you know, be on?
So I always say, like, I'm a challenger through and through, right? I love it. I'm trying to push to have it go back to its old school feel, where it's a little bit more cutthroat, a little bit more carnage, a little bit more you needed to have specific abilities in order to be successful on it. If there's other shows that come out like that, I mean, I would love, you know, I'm a competitor. There is one that doesn't really fall in the realm of that because it's not a game show specifically. You know, the people don't get paid to go on it. There's no cash prize, but it's brutal. And it's that Special Forces show that I think is on Fox. I would just want to do that just because all of those things are so adrenaline filled, and that's like right up my alley. And I just want to be that person that's like, can I do it? Like, I want to know mentally, like, can I do these things? Like, do I have what it takes to, like, you know, not let, you know, fear take over and just execute? So that's something that I think I would love to do just for fun. Because you would have to essentially do it for fun because you can't win anything. But other than that, you know, I'm cool with the challenge. You know, House of Villains seemed appealing, Traders seemed appealing. I would totally do those things just for, you know, a level of entertainment. But I really just I want shows that are just like punch you in the face style. You know what I mean? Like, we're here, we're in your face, like all competitors are here trying to win. And I feel like that one maybe doesn't have that aspect, but it's so crazy that, like, you know, you're fighting that battle within yourself.
Would you ever want to host a show, be the guy that's, you know, speaking to the group, the face of the show, for lack of a better term?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been hosting events since I was 16 years old. Like, I feel like I'm a natural at that. You know, I think it'd be fun to be in the WWE, be a little showman there. I would definitely love to be like a heel, you know, get people rowdy, you know, make them hate me. But as far
what would
as
your
like,
name be? What would your name be? Because you couldn't just be Paul. You got to come up with something.
oh, dude, I'd be like, I'd call myself like PC3 or something. I don't know.
I got
I'd have to think about that more. That's one of
the great Paul of China, the Great Wall of China.
The Great Paul of China. Yeah, I'd have to think about that more. I'd have to, you know, go to Kara. She's the pun queen, so she could come up with, you know, some things in that realm. But I'd love to host a show. I mean, I grew up watching American Idol. You know, watch The Voice, watch The Masked Singer. You know, obviously watching The Challenge, Big Brother, seeing the host of that. Like, I think I'd be a great host. You know, and I think I would want to host a show where it's like I could, you know, be a little witty, have a little bit of banter with the people there, but also get the crowd going, you know, from a viewer standpoint, but also like the live audience. I think it'd be fun.
All right, last question I got for you. If there was a documentary crew following you around during TST, going into locker rooms, seeing what all teams were saying and doing, what's the craziest or most interesting thing that would have been captured?
Crazy and most interesting thing that would have been captured. I mean, I think, you know, if everything was captured on film right after that first game that we had in our group stages, because it got rowdy at the end. There's a controversial call. I don't think that I should have got the double yellow and got red carded with 30 seconds left in the game. I think that was a little bit rookie mistake on the referee, but I'll let it slide. But yeah, I mean, the tensions were high that first game because that team came out and they were talking smack to Cody and I for being reality TV people, and we just brought the heat and we brought the noise. And it got chirpy and it got chippy at the end, and there could have been multiple cards or there could have been a brawl that happened as we were shaking hands. There's definitely some trading of words, some trading of shoulders, some trading of hands. So I think that would have been, something to put on. And then the second thing would have been on the sidelines of the Indiana game, where like things were going high. It was a lot of tension. Like, I think we were like the only team that didn't have an official coach on the sideline. Like me and my brother like would sub each other out. And like, so we always had somebody on the sideline. But during that game, I was red carded. So I just had full control of the coaching stuff. And it's like with every team, especially a new team, like you got people like trying to chime in, who should be on the field, who, whatever. And I forget who it was, but somebody like came up to me and was like, hey man, like I think, we should get so-and-so in. And like this person had been like absolute dog shit the whole tournament. And I like turned around and I was like, no, now get the fuck out of my face and sit down. And like person was just like, all right, my bad. Like they just like went and sat down, didn't say a word for the rest of the fucking game. And I felt bad afterwards, but I was like, hey, listen, guys, we're in the heat of the moment. We're making a fucking comeback. You're not about to walk over to me and be like, hey, I think this person who hasn't fucking done shit for us should go in the game. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit too direct for that. And we were playing to win at that point. And I think that was like the most exciting game of the tournament, I think.
Well, you mentioned, you guys beat the champs. Did you beat Indiana or did you lose that game in the comeback?
We lost that game, but it got down to just a player and a goalie on the field. So like, but we were losing 4-0 at halftime, and then it's like, I think we went into the extra time down 4-2, and then we tied it, leading into like that second to last round. So like, that was like, everybody was sitting there watching that. And I was like, man, this is awesome. And I hate Indiana. So like, I really wanted to beat them.
I think the consensus after the first day was, okay, this group has probably 3 of the best 16 teams here, with Newtown Pride, who won it all, you guys, and then Indiana, who beat you. It really, you guys got in over goal differential, I think. And I really think, whether it was you guys, if you and Indiana came out, maybe you win. If Indiana and Newtown come out, maybe Indiana wins. Like, we really thought that group was stacked. And the beauty about, potential year 2 of TST and beyond is there'll be some more scouting and stuff and a little more, understanding of the teams. And I don't think anyone's going to be taking Kingdom FC lightly ever again.
No, and I don't think we're taking ourselves lightly at all. Given we might or might not be in second year. But it's like, now there's like so many different nuances that, like, as a soccer player and as from a coaching perspective, so many things that you got to prepare for, that I think everybody was just going off of the fly, right? Like, set plays weren't really utilized in a crazy way, but also there was really not much of a game plan. Like, once it started going into the extra time and you got to start pulling players off, right? So I think that's going to be one of the things that we drill so much, to the point where it's like clockwork. We're just going to run drills, where it's like, these are the final 7. As soon as the extra time starts, 5 minutes, everybody knows who's coming off. These are the subs that are going to be in rotation for that time. When it gets down to this time, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. I think that's going to be the big focus, because I think when it comes down to it, from what I remember watching of the tournament, is a lot of the times it came down to that goal. And there was a lot of upsets in the knockout rounds because of that, including us against Blades of Grass. They put together a phenomenal comeback, and that's that.
Well, like they always say, sports is the best reality TV. Paulie, we appreciate you coming on the show, talking a little soccer, looking forward to what's to come, not just from, you guys, your team, Kingdom FC, whatever. Just I'm on the Paulie train. I'm ready to see you host a show as long as I get to be a contestant.
Dude, listen, if I'm hosting a show and I actually get to have, I get to have a little bit of pull there. You know what I mean? I got people that hit me up all the time. They're like, yo, get me on this show. And I'm like, best I could do is connect you with the casting director. You got to do the rest. If I'm the host, first call coming to you.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.